Yeah, I think it's gonna work. Hey, TV people, Howlin' Mad One back at you. Well, it's been an interesting afternoon. The mental midget retard Frank that lives in the motorhome down alongside the driveway has been coming up and getting into my crap. And since it's been too dry to burn my trash like I normally do on a rainy day, I've had a couple big black bags of trash and used diapers because my old stroked out ass uses diapers. Not something I'm happy about, but it is what it is. So he's taken my garbage bags and dumped them out on a tarp alongside the driveway and has been going through my garbage. What sort of Frank? What sort of freak is Frank? Frank is the sort of freak that will go through another man's dirty diapers. And he was up here, and I told him, "You need to get the hell out of here. You don't belong up here. You need to stay the fuck away from me, or you're going to make me do something that's going to get me into a lot of trouble." And he swung his rake that he had at me, telling me that I asked him to come up here and clean up, and I told him, "No. If anything, I've asked you to stay the fuck away from me and out of my crap." And then he starts screaming and yelling at me that my generator, my Win 3750, is his dad's generator that I stole from his mother. And I told him, "Fuck you. I bought that. I have the receipts to prove it. I bought that from Walmart." And he tells me that I'm a thief and I'm a liar. I stole his dad's generator. They don't sell them at Walmart. I said I went through a company name, a firm, to finance it. I bought it off the Walmart website. So fuck you. Stay the fuck away from me and quit stealing my shit, or I'm going to cut your fucking hands off. And he swung his rake at me again. And I told him, "Don't make me call family. Don't make me call my brothers." And he threatened to call the cops on me for stealing the generator. Hell, I've got receipts. I got bank statements. I can pull them up on my phone that, I bought the damn thing. I still owe on it a little bit. So that's what's going on with that. I got a hold of my brother Steve. My brother Steve is going to bring me back to hand cannon. And it says if I have any more problems with Frank, he'll just come over and shoot him. I got a hold of my sister so I could get my brother Bob's number because when I got the new phone, I lost all my damn phone numbers. And I got a hold of my brother Bob. And Bob is one of Uncle Sam's misguided children. Once you're a Marine, you're always a Marine. And Bobby ain't someone to play with. When he was home on leave after boot camp, him and his buddies went out to a keg party out at the old water wells, and the guys at the party were giving him a bad time about his haircut, calling him a skinhead. And that night, I seen him whip the shit out of 37 guys. The biggest one he kept hitting and wouldn't go down, so Bob dropped to his knees, reached out, grabbed the guy by his junk, and twisted, and the guy went down. So I've seen Bobby beat the hell out of 37 guys in one night. And he wasn't even drinking hard. He's drinking hard now. Since my brother Bob's wife Bobby died, he's been hitting the bottle a little hard and is looking for someone to take that pain out on. Yes, Roberta and Robert, Bob and Bobby, or Bobby and Bobby. Yeah, that's how it works out in my family. I don't know why. It's like Chris and Kristen and Jim and Jen. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but that's just how it works out. So I have called in my brother, and nobody knows about Bobby. They know about Steve, and Steve is an ex resurrection. You got to be kicked out of a reputable motorcycle club to become a resurrection, or a rusty erection, as we used to call them. And Bob is, well, I can't say an ex Marine because once you're one of Uncle Sam's misguided children, you're always one of Uncle Sam's misguided children. This is a guy that used to go work out at the gym before he unloaded containers, boxes out of containers before he started driving truck. So, he's kept himself in good shape. He might be a little old and slower than he used to be, but I wouldn't tangle with him. And I've been told that if I have any more problems with this Freaky Frank, to get a hold of my brothers. And Steve is all about coming over and just shooting him because he knows who the guy is, and he knows that he's a mental midget that is heavily medicated, that evidently he's off his meds. And he doesn't realize. I told him one day, do not make me call my brothers. Oh, I ain't worried about your brothers. I'll kill them. I said, okay, you want to say that to either one of their faces? Bob will look at you and say, I'm going to take you out. Now, that could mean anything. Take you out for a drink, take you out for a hamburger, take you out for a pizza, or just take you out of the planet. And Steve is just all about coming over and shooting him. Steve and him tangled about 40 years ago, and he says, I ain't worried about your brother, Steve. Well, he'd better, because Steve is a very dangerous individual. Bobby's a dangerous individual. 6 months ago, I'd have had no problem whooping his ass. But I would have taken a stick to him and made an example out of him. But since the stroke, I am not my old self anymore. But I'm getting better. The other night, I was watching some YouTube and watching the Addams Family movie because I like Christopher Lloyd. And sitting there watching the Addams Family movie, this dead thing went, okay, it's not working as good as it did that night. As I'm watching the theme song come on, da-da-da, my left hand, without thinking about it, without prompting it, without even asking it to, started to snap along with the theme music. So I'm happy with that. Turns out the stroke and heart attack that screwed me up was caused because I'm diabetic. Who knew? So I got to watch my diet. I guess my diet of caffeine and nicotine could have contributed to that. So I'm sitting here waiting for my neighbor Ed to give me a ride to the store or to the gas station so I can get some gas for my truck. it's getting to the time of night where I can't see clearly. And if I was to go somewhere, I'd get back, it'd be dark, and I'm I lost some of my eyesight in that. That's part of the diabetes thing. The reason I can't feel my left foot, part of the diabetes thing. Who knew I'm diabetic? You think they would have figured that out when I had the colon reconnected because they were pumping me full of sugar water. But so I'm walking with just the cane now. I have retired the walker that I took from the hospital when they told me I'd never walk again. And I told them, screw you, I'm walking out of here Friday and I'm taking your walker with me, whether you like it or not. So, besides that, me and the 25 cats are doing good. Oh, god damn it, that idiot's wandering back up this way again. The only thing I have to defend myself is a katana. And I'm pretty sure that I can still swing the 28 inches of razor sharp stainless steel. But I'm happier with the 44 because it's more of a deterrent. Nobody wants to play with that big old hand cannon. And Steven's going to be bringing me back to hand cannon because now he's convinced I'm not going to blow my head off in a depression about being all fuckered up. Well, I'm coming back. I'm not at quite 50% yet, but I'm walking without the walker and I'm using the cane. My left hand is kind of working. It took me 4 days to put the starter in the truck. And that was interesting because usually that is a 20-minute job in O'Reilly's parking lot with only a pair of vice grips because it's the only thing on the front seat of the truck to use as a tool. 20-minute job with a pair of vice grips. I mean, I've done it before. I've done it numerous times. Hell, I've done it in a rainstorm laying in a mud puddle to where I had to hold my head up so I didn't drown. Nah, 4 fucking days. But I did it. I can still twist a wrench. So I'm making a comeback. If people would just leave me the fuck alone. Arguing with some mental midget that is supposed to be heavily medicated that ain't on his medication and goes into a roid rage. He's the whole reason I got the big hand cannon because he threatened me one too many times. Okay, enough of that. How do I shut this goddamn thing off? I hate this new phone.